Hi everybody, this is a video overview of this device. I don't know what else to call it, but it is the KeyPort pivot. And this is a really cool little gadget, and I'm going to go through all the features. Before I do that, I'm going to take my keys off so I can move this around a little bit easier. But just so you know, if you have one of those key fob keys with the big fat key fobs, it works with that. So here's the device. It's basically a book. It's got a hinge here. It's got two leaves here, the front and the back, and then the pivot where the keys ride, and it's just a Chicago bolt, and they give you two Chicago bolts, two different size Chicago bolts, so you can use it for different things. This is basically the decked out pivot. KeyPort is known for making the slider keys, and those things look really awesome, but you have to have your keys specially made, and that's kind of a pain in the ass. Especially because if you lose one, or you have to change a key, it's kind of a pain in the butt. If you're going to live in the same place for the rest of your life and you don't have to worry about key fobs, that would definitely be the way to go because that thing looks so cool. It's like the perfect size. I have this theory about Zippo lighters being the perfect size. That's the perfect size. So this one comes with a bunch of different options. So KeyPort sent me this as a review sample, and as you can see there are 3 holes here. He sent me two plates, one for the logo of Gear Geeks Live and one for the logo of Everyday Commentary because that is cool. But they push them down, and then you slide them into place, and they lock into these 3 holes. You have a hook that goes this way, and another hook that goes this way, and then like a little spring-loaded tab here. So when you push down the spring-loaded tab, the hooks sink down into the holes, and then you slide them forward, and they lock into the holes. It's a really ingenious design. It's super, super ingenious. One thing that I would note, though, is it's not really intuitive of how you have to detach them. So in order to detach them, you have to take something like a screwdriver and push in the spring tab. And at the same time you're pushing in, you slide it forward, and the little liner on the outside will fall off. So as you can see right here, this is the actual front, and this is the actual back, and this is the pivot. And then this tool here, which I will show you in a second, is an attachment, and this tool here is an attachment. You can attach something to the attachments because a lot of them have the expansion ports on the outside. This flashlight unit does not have the expansion port on it, but you can use it. Oh, I think my batteries, I think I might have dropped the batteries when I was bringing it down for review. But this is a flashlight. It's basically like as bright as a photon, and this is a little slip joint which I've used to open packages, and it's quite good. I wouldn't use this to do real heavy use stuff, but if you need a pen knife, and lots of people survived on just pen knives for a long time, this is a good pen knife. It's a slip joint, as you can see. There's no lock, but it's a flushback spring joint, flushback slip joint, as the spring is right there. So there's actually a gap between the back of the knife and the spring, and when the knife rotates into place, the spring goes up against the back and locks in and wedges into place. Doesn't lock into place. This was designed by Glenn Klecker. He has a series of these devices, all of which are really, really cool, and they're compatible with a cell phone case that he made. This is a Griffin tool, one-piece multi-tool. It has the pry tip, it has the box wrenches, it has the can opener. And you can also use this as a thing to hold, as a pocket hook to hold your stuff in your pocket. I have not used it that way, but you could. It's pretty easy. The only problem is if you do that, you can run into these pokey ends, which I don't like. Let's see if we can get this thing to focus. There we go. It hooks onto the pivot, and it sits very nicely with your keys. The next thing that I have on here, I have some of my keys on here. Next thing I have on here, tiny little pen. I use this to sign checks or to sign receipts at stores like restaurants and the grocery store. Next to that, I have a really cool 8GB memory guy. Whoop. Stick it in, pull it out, it's done. Nothing complicated there. This is basically an entire EDC kit. It's a knife, a flashlight, a multi-tool, a pen, and a memory card, all in something that's easily the size of your hand. But there are 2 things I do not like. Number 1, this top pivot is not super stable, and the reason why is it is designed to have a couple of different positions. If you only have a few keys, it goes up and it gets really thin, or much thinner. And if you have all the keys and it's expanded all the way out, it's like that, right? This is not terribly stable. I wish there was some way to like lock it so that it would just form a rigid surface. Because as that is, that's much better. I'm always worried about putting too much pressure on this Chicago bolt because this thing is collapsed or something. The other thing is there's a lot of dead space here. There's really no way to get around this because some keys are bigger and some keys are shorter, and in order to accommodate the vast majority of keys, you have to have some dead space. But this has a lot of volume in your pocket for what you're carrying. And normally when I don't have this, I carry my keys on 2 Night Eyes S spinners, and that's it. I don't have anything else on there. I used to have a blade key, but the screw got stripped and I can't find one that fits, so I don't know what to do. But that is my 2 criticisms. It's pretty bulky and it's heavy, and this thing feels unstable. But other than that, this is a really ingenious solution. It gives you a bunch of tools in a really compact package. The tools are all very well designed. I think KeyPort did a good job in picking their partner, and Glenn Klecker, who is one of the most ingenious and most prolific designers out there of everyday carry gear, and he's really good at designing knives too. It's all very clever. So other than this, I would be fine with the bulk if this wasn't an issue. But I don't know how you fix this. I mean, you could have it so that there are multiple plates here. You could have like a thing that like clips in, sort of like I don't know, what the heck are those things called? But like the black binder clips, not paper clips, but the binder clips. If you had something that had like that kind of spring to it, and you just slid it in and it locked into place between these 2 leaves, that would work. But having this as this pivoting, rotating thing just makes it feel a little unstable, and I'm always worried that I'll like rank on this and poof. Hasn't happened. I don't think it will happen because everything's metal, but you know, it's one of those things. But this is the KeyPort Pivot, and a review will be coming. I'm not going to say soon because boy is this a complex thing to review. There's like a million features to it, and to figure out how all of them play together and how all of them work, it's not going to be easy. Multi-tools are always more difficult to review than knives and flashlights. Bags and multi-tools are the 2 most difficult things to review. One because it's complex, and the other because you don't have a whole lot of opportunity. I mean, I have my briefcase that I've carried for years, which is the Tom Bing Cadet, but you know, I go hiking on the weekends, that's it. So it takes a while to get enough experience to say anything meaningful. So that's the KeyPort Pivot, and look for a review on my website. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to say soon, but look for a review.